I'm back. It's been too fucking long. Um, yeah, I have wanted to come and sit down in my chair and start recording something for a very long time, and much longer than I realized at some point, and then I continued not to, and now it's been 2 months. So that's crazy. I think the last time I actively did something, like pretty much anything, including like streaming or anything like that, was on or near the end of January, which is insane. Because I did not mean to leave for that long or at all. Just life fucks you so hard sometimes. It's crazy. Um, but I'm here. I'm still making an effort. Still trying to be consistent. But that's always very hard for me for some reason. I was able to post kind of consistently on Instagram, not Twitch, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, that kind of stuff, because I had built up a lot of stuff and was able to, while my family was, while I had a visit with my family, and we went to Alcatraz. Welcome to Indian Land and the Hat. Um, so I was able to have that stuff up while they visited, and I didn't have to worry about it, and it could just be in the background. And then I ran out of stuff to post, but I was so busy with work and just life in general that I didn't get to actually sit back down and make anything else. And now I'm here and I've been struggling with my microphone for like the past hour. I got really frustrated with it. I made a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and then I ate that and then I was just like, fuck it, we're gonna run it live. Whatever whatever it ends up sounding like is what it sounds like because I'm frustrated with it and feel better after eating. That's always good. But yeah, it's just been a struggle just to get back here. And there are things that I've wanted to talk about. I'm super behind on stuff. But there's like stuff that I wrote down and tried to make a point of talking about or like being able to sit down and talk about. And I just haven't been able to. And part of that is on me because I'm not comfortable recording ever basically. Uh which is usually kind of obvious, I guess. Just based on my usual demeanor in these videos. But Um, it just has to be like no one is home or no one's around me or I just am not aware that they're there, and have all the windows and doors shut and everything. Otherwise, I can't record because I'm too insecure about it. Um, but there was stuff that I wanted to talk about and I wasn't able to. And one of those was Smiling Friends coming to an end. That is so sad to me, but it also makes sense. I don't know. There's a couple things I'd written this down to talk about and I was just not in a very organized way, just so I could kind of keep some bullet points like how I usually do of what my thoughts are on it. And I don't have that with me. So it was really just the point that, first of all, they'd said the next episode, they've said season three was getting two more episodes. I remember that much. Something was going on with April 1st. And if you don't know, they announced on April 1st, which is April Fool's Day, however many years ago, that Smiling Friends was going to be on Adult Swim. So to me, that immediately stood out as like, is this a real thing that they're doing? Is this a real thing that they're doing, or is this an April Fool's joke? Is this an April Fool's prank? And they're just trying to get the audience. Because there were other interviews where they were talking about season four and five, obviously not wanting to go on forever, and people were bringing up they had their bit about the Simpsons in season three, and the Simpsons had their gag with mentioning Smiling Friends in it. So they were like, with that little gag that they've done, comparing or bringing up the Simpsons, do they want to continue on like how they have? Because they've criticized how long it's gone on with Pim's line in that one episode, like, oh, how many seasons in all these years later, and they're still hilarious. Like, I'm starting to ramble, but basically what they were getting to was do you want how long is Smiling Friends going to go on? And Zach Hadel and Michael Cusack were talking about that and just saying that they didn't want it to go on for super long and that they could imagine it going to season four and five, but not much further than that. And then out of nowhere, seemingly, they're like, oh, it's cut off, it's done. We're going to get two more bonus episodes for season three, and then it's over for good. So there was a lot of confusion from fans about that. So that's my cope, is that I'm like, April 1st as an April Fool's Day thing. They said that when they were airing, when they were talking about the pilot being on Adult Swim, and that turned out to be a serious thing. Is this going to be an opposite thing? That's my own personal cope.
This is not a bit. This is not a joke. Michael and I are here to announce that Smiling Friends will be ending after season 3 is done. Um,
Yes.
oh man, how great would it be to really try to make the show as good as it can be and really put 100%, 110% into it, and then go out what feels like on top, what feels like leave them wanting more, rather than people going, "Oh, that show is still in the air. Oh God."
Yeah.
It just feels like, and like you said, we were really, after several years of really grinding on this show nonstop without any breaks, 24/7. We got to a point where we just felt like that's a good spot to end it.
Yep.
And we wouldn't want to be doing more seasons with like half-hearted, like with half, or burnt out or not feeling it. And that's not fair to us, and it's not fair to the audience to give you guys fucking slop. That's not really, that sucks.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's just because I want more of the show. I think it is realistic that they want to end it after season 3. And I don't think that would be a bad place to end it. And this is one part that I wrote down in my notes, is I wanted to compare it to SpongeBob, because I became very nostalgic recently for a lot of older things, and I was looking at a lot of videos talking about older SpongeBob, and just looking back on the parts that Steven Hillenburg was super involved with, which was season 1 through 3, and then the first movie. And that first movie was initially going to be the end of it. Um, and so, like Smiling Friends, the creators are on for 3 seasons, and then are wanting to be finished with the project and keep it at a high. And there are fans of SpongeBob who are saying, or sorry, it's like 20 years ago at this point, who have said that that's where the show started to kind of fall off, and the quality of the episodes start to drop with the loss of Steven Hillenburg as the main producer, writer. I believe both. And then after that, the quality really started to degrade, and it was basically just it's basically gone downhill since they had their original team, and then Steven Hillenburg gets broken off, and then initially one by one writers start to leave and get replaced with new writers, and then towards the end you have a completely, it's kind of a Ship of Theseus thing, right? They're still making SpongeBob, but who's really been there since the start? The voice actors are the same. As far as I know, the main cast is all the same. But for writers, I don't know. I just know that obviously things are pretty different now, and they've ran through quite a few ideas on SpongeBob. So it's good. All this to say that it's good to see Smiling Friends end on somewhat of a high note. Although if they also wanted to end on a movie like Hillenburg planned on doing, I would be on board for that. I think that'd be fantastic. So if that comes out on April 1st, you're hearing it here first. That's my game theory. And I just think that's a great idea, and they should do that, and they should do it just for me and invite me to the red carpet event. Yeah, I'll bring up Punch a Monkey, because I'm recording this on Sunday, and my initial plan was this. My initial plan with this was I wanted to talk about it on Monday and bring back an old bit from a single video that I did, where I put in the title of the video, #Monkey Monday, as if this was like a weekly thing that I did every Monday talking about monkeys. And I thought that was funny because that's from probably 3 years ago now. But if you don't know, there's a monkey in a zoo in Japan. I don't know the species of monkey, but oh god, people say it so much. I feel like it's on the tip of my tongue. I don't know the species of monkey, and I don't even know the name of the zoo in Japan. But essentially, this monkey was abandoned by his mother. The zoo rescued him and gave him this IKEA orangutan plushie as a mother figure for him, which he clung to very strongly. And he basically drags it around the little zoo enclosure with him around the other monkeys. And he became such a big phenomenon on the internet because people were seeing these videos of him dragging around his toy monkey that he's very attached to and being very cute. And then these other monkeys do not get along with him at all. They start beating him up, and like, I'm not kidding, they like grab him and throw him around, start swinging him around and scratching him, and he runs away to the monkey, and he grabs the monkey and drags it running away. It's very cute and tragic and sad. And my initial reaction to this was I got home, I was very beat from work. I sat down on the couch and I clocked into my next 12-hour shift of scrolling through Instagram and I stumbled across like 5 videos in a row. It was just on my main search page or like main just going through Reels. So I don't know why the algorithm decided that I really needed to know about this in particular. But I saw the first one and I was like, oh, that's kind of sad. And I saw the second one and I like stayed to watch the whole things. And then eventually my girlfriend started recording me. And by that point, I had seen six of these videos actually in a row. And it was like some stupid meme video. But at that point, I was crying because I was like, they're being so mean to him. I couldn't take it.
Crying. You're actually crying.
They're being too mean to him. So it was really fucked up, but it made me laugh. Like I was laughing because I felt so silly because I was like, I don't know, this guy, this is some monkey, like he's fine. The zookeepers are obviously watching after him. He's gonna be fine. And update on him if you haven't been following, he is fine. They're last I checked, that was probably a week ago by now, so I don't know where he's at today, Sunday the 15th. That's right, I haven't said the date yet. That was always the thing. At 4 o'clock p.m. exactly right now. No, it's not. It's 3:59. My computer's wrong for some reason. Um, if anyways, you don't care about that. Punch the Monkey, they want to take away the orangutan plushie because it's not good for his development to be stuck to this fake thing for so long, to this not real monkey, and they want him to socialize and acclimate better to the other monkeys, which has also been getting better. So if you haven't been following, he has made a couple of friends. They also have names, but they're not important here. This is not about them. So he has made a couple of friends, and sometimes the other monkeys will still bully him, but now he has a little gang he could run to, and they kind of stand together and protect him, which is sweet. And good to see. And now, last I checked, they were talking about taking away the orangutan plushies so that he could better socialize with them and not go running to the orangutan each time. So that's all very good news, I think. And another thing about him, I want to bring this up. I didn't know where else this could fit in, but he is very attached to one of the zookeepers, I think. I think it's one zookeeper in particular, or maybe just uh, other zoo employees who come around and he sees them in the uniform and he just runs to them. I think it's one in particular, though, that he runs to. He'll jump on the leg of and hold on to him and try and follow him as he's walking out. He'll like open the door to the bottom of the enclosure and immediately he like pounces on him and is like running up his back and jumps on his shoulder, which is very cute because it and that was at a point when he was a little bit younger. All the monkeys were being very mean to him. So the person who comes along with food and is not actively hurting him, yeah, he's gonna be a little bit more attached, I think. And then they have to like keep grabbing him and pulling him off and like throw him into the enclosure and then close the door so that he doesn't follow them inside and try and escape or anything. But yeah, the whole Punch the Monkey situation was uh, something I was very taken with, you could say. So I wanted to talk about that and bring that up. So happy Monkey Monday. I guess I'll save this video for tomorrow. Anyways, other than that, big plans. I wanted to record Spider-Man today. Oh, I'm keeping that. I was thinking of switching from streaming Spider-Man, the PS4 game, which I'm playing on Steam. I don't have a PS4, and just recording that instead. I thought that would be a little bit easier for me because it was fun. It was nice, and I had a friend there in chat to talk to, which was good to bounce off of a little bit. But I think for me, it might be easier to record something like that. I don't know. I'm thinking that it would be easier to move away from Twitch and to go more into doing YouTube and to try and build an audience that way because you really don't build with Twitch. You kind of just connect with people more there. I'm realizing way too late into the game. Um, and I've never really taken YouTube that seriously for an extended period of time. Probably the most recent being the Minecraft stuff, but I put a lot of pressure on myself to get one out very quickly after moving and I work 40 hours a week, so I was expecting a lot out of myself. And I kind of hit a block in my world, and I've kind of been scared to go back to it. But I do want to do YouTube, and I do want to continue the Spider-Man game, but I feel like I could only do that if I'm recording it, and then I could edit things the way I want them, the way I want them to be done, and not worry so much about what's going to happen live in front of potentially anyone, I guess. I don't know. I just feel more awkward, I guess, in this new space. I don't want to feel rushed or anything, or like I'm always watching the clock, so I don't have time to record right now, but maybe tomorrow I will. But we'll see. But right now, what I do want to talk about is exercising, because that's another big part of my personality right now, and a part of who I've been. So I've been doing a lot of calisthenic stuff, and that's weird for me, I think. I don't know. I used to do more weightlifting stuff, and I've kind of moved towards calisthenics, and it seems to be more of my vibe. I've been a lot more consistent with it than I have been with weightlifting ever, I think, in the past. And I think a part of that is just trying to take the pressure off of myself. I initially started just doing it every other day and not even really tracking anything or writing anything down, just trying to be somewhat consistent with it. And I was for months not tracking it. I was just doing it every other day, and I did not miss a day for at least 3 or 4 months, I think. Obviously, that's a little bit easier because every other day I'm not doing anything. You know, I did not put any pressure on myself to exercise in any way or to stretch or go on a run or anything. But that was something that I occasionally did. Was I was like, okay, I've got nothing else to do today. I think I'd like to just do some stretching, do some yoga, do go on a run, anything like that. Eventually, I started writing stuff down. I have my exercise journal, which I was using for weightlifting. I just transitioned to writing down the routine that I was doing for calisthenics, and then I upped that routine. Eventually, I was doing it 3 days on and 1 day off, and I wasn't doing it necessarily like, oh, do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I was literally just going, do it for 3 days and then 1 day off, then 3 days, then 1 day off. And that was pretty successful for a while. Um, I tried to keep that up. I started missing some days, and then I decided I would go back to doing every other day because I managed to do that for months without missing a day, which seemed uh, more, it seemed better to me to have that kind of consistency than to try and struggle and get a bigger workout, I guess. I don't know how to explain that, but it seemed better to just be consistent and do it every other day. Basically, I had two levels of a routine that I could do, and I could do level one where I'm like, do these 4 exercises or do these 3 exercises 4 times as fast as possible, versus the new one where I'm like, do these 3 or 4 exercises 6 times as fast as possible, something like that. Just basically adding levels to it. It's like super basic stuff, but for me, it's huge. Um, and that's good. I've never been so consistent with it, and I've been trying to be on top of my diet. But the biggest thing I have a problem with is calories in, I think. I just don't eat enough because I'm usually too lazy to. Right now, I had PB&J because I was hungry and I didn't want to make anything. And because I have mostly ingredients in my house right now, which is what I've been trying to do to be healthier, but then I don't want to make anything, so I don't make anything, so I just don't eat. That's not good. I also had 2 or 3 plums, so there's that, but it's not very filling. It's not a whole lot. And I'm trying to gain weight because I've been stuck at like 145 pounds for so long. Um, and I say stuck as if I've been doing something to try and remedy that, but I haven't. So, so that's a thing. That's super fun. Um, but yeah, it's a work in progress. Um, just another part of being a human being with your own self-set limitations. I don't want to eat, so I don't. What a first world problem to have. So gaining weight is hard for me, but we will see. Gaining good weight anyways. I'm doing my best to stay away from a lot of shit right now. Not even just food things, but I just recently went on like a crazy cotton bender, which is a brand new sentence. But I've been looking at all my clothes, my towels, my bed sheets, my blanket, and being like, what is this made out of? Is there polyester in it? Throw it away. Not really throw it away, but just cycle it out and replace it with something cotton. I went to the thrift store and I got a bunch of cotton polos for work. And I got a bunch of cotton. I wanted to make sure things that were at least higher percentage of cotton than they were if polyester, if they had polyester, or spandex, if they had spandex, if it had like an elastic waistband, something like that. Get it as close to 100% cotton basically as possible. And that was the case with a couple of pants. I had pants. It was like, oh, this is 60% cotton. I was like, oh, I wonder if I could find a version of this that's pretty cheap and get it closer to 100. And I found some pants that were like, oh, this is 98% cotton. I was like, perfect. I don't need more than that, honestly. I'm just trying to do my best. But yeah, I think a part of that is just being so scared of the state of the world right now, and we're just hitting everything on the mark. In my mind, initially, these were all separate videos, but um, yeah, in my mind, these were all separate videos. But it's I've been gone so long, and there was a lot of things I wanted to touch on, but I'm not opposed to making longer videos. So I've done this in the past. I'll do it again in the future. Hopefully, I'll find more time to sit down and record, but yeah, the state of the world has just been freaking me the fuck out recently. Is basically what it comes down to. And I think that's just a little way of looking for control in my life. It's scary. It's super scary out there. I've been looking at stuff like, oh my god, I bought a lead detection test. What it was called, Detect Lead. I could leave a link for that because when I bought the kit, they were like, "Hey, share this link and you could get whatever back from." There was like some program. I don't know. So yeah, sure, I'll leave my link. Maybe it'll support me in some way, probably. But it was basically a spray and a UV light, and they have a little card that explains how it works. And you can spray your dishes, is what I've been using it mostly for, and essentially see if it is going to glow green under the UV light. And they tell you to take a before and after picture with the UV light before and after you spray it. Um, and sure enough, there were some dishes that we thrifted from Goodwill that had lead in them. So, luckily, we have never eaten off of those, and we definitely don't plan to now. My girlfriend really wanted to keep them because they're pretty pieces. I would have just tossed them right then and there, to be honest, but she wanted to keep them. So, what are you gonna do? So, that's the rule, is that they're decorative now, and I just want little contact with them. But that's fucking scary. Isn't that fucking scary? How is that allowed? They weren't old. I know they weren't old. They were thrifted, but they were not old, certainly. And that's allowed. The world we live in is fucking terrifying. Everything is poisonous. It's so scary. And I'm like smiling as I say this. I don't know why, because it's it eats me up. It really does. Um all of this weighs me down constantly. And I don't know how to get that across any clearer than just saying that, but that's part of where I've been. I work 40 hours a week every single week. My job is like 40 minutes away, but they say the work week is or the work day is 9 to 5, is actually 8 to 7 because of the mental load that it puts on you. Now add 40 minutes of traffic or 40 minutes of driving, give or take, with the traffic, Uh, that and the fact that I'm not comfortable recording if there's anyone else here, and that's not on them. It's just, that's my own insecurity. That's something I gotta deal with. Uh, and then you scroll on Instagram for all of 5 minutes, and everything I get on there is like, there's a looming food crisis. We might not have water soon. We're starting a war in Iran. We're still sending money to Israel. We are just invaded Venezuela. That was, I mean, it's the 15th of March now. That was a month ago. Fucking hell. But it's and then the Epstein files dropped, nothing happened there. It's everything is terrifying. I don't like I'm just fucking scared basically. They're talking about another war a World War III. Are you fucking kidding me? They're talking about you are in the perfect age range to get drafted. I don't want to go to war. For what? For America? For like I'm like, part of me is like, bite your tongue because they'll fucking put you down like a dog for that. Um, it's just, it's fucking horrifying, and it's never not on my mind. So, then I feel bad because I'm like, here I am sitting on my fucking fat ass playing video games, when I could be doing anything. And then my mind goes, what would I do? I have no idea. I don't even plan to be like we're talking about moving right now, and I'm looking at my bank account like fuck, there's nothing there. Like, and that's the problem, you know. That's part of it is they, you know, are like are wanting you to feel overwhelmed and want you to be dealing with all this other bullshit that you don't have time to develop and to resist and to expand your mind and to do all these things. They want you to struggle. And I am basically. It's working. So it's very scary. And I don't want to say that negatively. I actually feel pretty good about all the changes I've been making. And I was very glad to see with my lead test that a lot of my other dishes, some other ones that I had thrifted, that I was very convinced would have lead in them, didn't. So that was a huge relief off my back because the 2 weeks that it took for that to arrive at my doorstep, I was eating off of those plates, being like, "Fuck, man, if this comes back bad, not only will I throw these away right away, I won't have plates to eat on." So it's shitty. And then I got rid of a bunch of clothes. I returned a bunch of stuff that I could return, you know, what you're able to return to get some money back. But then I spent more money to get new things because I can't go walking around naked. I need clothes. So I have a whole new wardrobe basically. Got rid of a bunch of old stuff. And there are things I held on to that are polyester. So I'm not completely getting rid of all the microplastics in my life, but I'm starting. And another thing that's been stressing me out with that is the water. Right now, I don't trust the water coming out of our tap, not for a second. So we've just been going with bottled water from the store, which then people are like, "Oh, microplastics." And I'm like, "Okay, well, what could I do about that? I could get water jugs. I could get the big 10-gallon thing and fill it up at the store, but those are also made out of plastic. Is that bad? I don't know. Should I be worried about that? Looking at the size of the water bottle and how much water fits in that versus the 10-gallon one, it's at least less plastic to get the 10-gallon one. But that's also a lot of work. So, and it takes up a lot of space, and I live in a small apartment. I don't have a home. I don't have a house. So, the logistics of everything is terrifying. And then I was like, okay, what about a water filter? I seen this really good reverse osmosis water filter at Ace Hardware and also online originally. And I was like, that looks good. $400. I just said I don't have any money. I'm waiting on my next paycheck to finish paying off my credit card for this one, and rent's due. So, I mean, don't worry about me. I'm gonna be fine. I'm not an idiot, so I'm just gonna not spend money on anything but groceries and gas, which has skyrocketed, no doubt, because of the war we're starting as a country. I say we, but I had nothing to do with that. You know, what the fuck? But so gas prices have skyrocketed. What was I talking about? I've rambled too long. I'm stressing myself out talking about all this, but I needed to get it out there, okay? I'm sorry if it stressed you out more, and I'm sorry if you haven't done any of this and that you feel that I've put the pressure on you. I'm not trying to do that. It's just a shitty world we live in, you know, and I don't like it. I want to do better, and I'm trying to start on my own level where I'm at here now. So I'm going to continue with the bottled water for now. When we move, I would like to get a water filter system and I would like to switch to the 10-gallon jugs, but that's not going to happen here. And our lease is up in like September or August, something. So that's not going to happen until at least until we move out. So I just have to put that in the back of my mind for now. Um, and just know that I'm doing better with my clothing situation, and also that we switched to Blue Land. I'm like, I keep turning around, sorry, because like I have my bed sheets there and my clothes over here because my drawer is open, and I've got my laundry stuff in the back. You can't see it, but I've literally got, I could see the bag of Blue Land right there on top of my laundry basket, which is little detergent tablets instead of going with detergent as a liquid thing because it's horribly inefficient if you don't know. Um, but like I said, I'm not trying to influence you to do anything. I'm just here to talk basically and to spout my fucking mouth. uh, anyways, do I have more to say? How long's it been? Half an hour? Yeah, I don't know. It's a scary world that we live in, and if you'd like to talk about it, I'm open to that. Leave a comment or message me somewhere. I burped again. Sorry. Talking about the state of the world makes me gassy. But, you know, message me somewhere. My name is the same on practically everything. So, yeah, that's about all I have. I hope that you're doing all right. I hope you're surviving the apocalypse and the impending doom is not treating you too harshly. I hope that you're making changes in the ways that you can and you're trying not to stress over the ways that you can't right now. That's all I really have. So I hope you have a beautiful rest of your night. And I hope to see you soon for some Spider-Man or cosplay stuff or something because I still have all that stuff. I'm still going for it. I just got a lot going on in my life and a lot of things stressing me out that I need to deal with. Um, and yeah, they take time, they take energy, they take commitment, and it's not easy, and so it takes away from this a little bit. But that's all. I'm not gonna keep rambling. Goodbye. I will see you next time.